Senator Chris Van Hollen, his trip to El Salvador has been such a blast. He's decided to invite his friends.
I can assure you that while I may be the first senator and first member of the United States Congress to come here to El Salvador in this case, I certainly will not be the last. There'll be many more coming.
For what? This whole crazy crusade is about leftists wanting to bring back a deported illegal alien, alleged MS-13 gangbanger, who's also accused of beating his wife. Seems like a great basket to put all your eggs in. And Van Hollen denied entry to the Supermax prison where this schmuck is being held.
The Trump administration releasing more evidence of his alleged gang status, including his rank, street name, and known MS-13 affiliated hand tattoo. But that's not good enough for Governor Tim Walz.
I have come to understand what Donald Trump, what pops into his head and he says, he's going to carry it out. He's going to deport people. And this whole thing with Mr. Abreu Garcia, it's that old wisdom and terrifying is if you're not speaking up for this man, there will be no one left to speak up for you.
Hillary Clinton needed the world to know that she's part of this story, too, writing on X, quote, "Before the election, I warned that there is no safe haven under authoritarianism. If they can ship Abreu Garcia to a foreign prison, they can do it to anyone."
I can't get through that with her. Joining us now is a man who was allowed into El Salvador's high-security prison, West Virginia Congressman Riley Moore. Congressman, thanks so much for joining us. You've been there. You see what what Senator Van Hollen is doing. Guy is fighting to bring back terrorists. What do you think of that?
Well, thank you so much for having me on again. And it's really quite laughable. And it's interesting that Hillary Clinton's talking about a foreign prison. It is not a foreign prison. He is a citizen of El Salvador. So that is actually the prison in which he resides. So that is very clear. And the interesting thing that's being lost in all of this is really the miracle that President Bukele has brought to the country of El Salvador. You've seen a 98% drop in murders in El Salvador. And as I went around the country and speaking to people, they are extraordinarily supportive and happy of the things that have taken place in El Salvador. And the fundamental building block of any nation state is security. Without security, you cannot have civil society, you cannot have justice, you cannot have economic opportunity. And what's great now with President Bukele, we actually have a partner that we are able to work with and deport individuals back to their country of origin that are criminals in our country.
Congressman, here is leave it to the media minions, the liberal lemmings working for regime media to just pick up this narrative from these Democrats and run with it. Here's the headline in the Los Angeles Times. What is stopping Trump from exiling you to a foreign prison? From a political perspective, what do you make of these Democrats siding with wife-beating, illegal alien, terrorist gangbangers over, well, victims and people who are here legally in the United States of America?
Well, I think it's a very sad commentary on the state of the party as it relates to the Democrats. You know, I've not heard them crying out for the return of hostages in Gaza, but they want to return criminals back into the United States. Mr. Garcia is a bad guy. He is a very bad guy. And, you know, one of the things that has come out in all this, that he was suspected of human trafficking and actually stopped in Tennessee. As you've mentioned, he beat his wife. This is not a good person. He is affiliated with a transnational criminal organization that has terrorized the country of El Salvador and terrorized our citizens here in the United States. When I was at that prison, I actually met several individuals, two in particular, who were deported from the United States back to El Salvador, who were really bad hombres, as they would say. These guys are killers, and they were happy to admit that they were killers. And we have to do more to protect our citizens in this country. It's almost 1 year since one of the people in my community was found burning on a couch, died, just right outside of Charlestown, West Virginia. I mean, that is a tragedy.
Right.
And that individual was a convicted killer in El Salvador who was let out and came into our country. And what President Trump is doing is trying to secure our border, and he is doing that and protecting our citizens. And that's also what President Bukele is doing as well.
Congressman Riley Moore, thank you, sir.
Thank you.